Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got our daily college basketball best bets here with the Elite Eight. Only 2 games today, so the video is going to be shorter. But we've got 2 games today in college basketball. The first being the early game at 3 o'clock, Texas Tech and Florida from the Chase Center in San Francisco, California. The second one coming from the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. The Alabama Crimson Tide taking on the Duke Blue Devils. So 2 games today. We're going to find out who advances to the Final Four. And again, we have best bets for both of these games. Now, before we get into the best bets, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more daily college basketball here on the channel. We do have more Elite Eight action tomorrow. Elite Eight action tomorrow. And then on Monday, we have the first round of the college basketball crown tournament, 4 games on Monday. Tuesday, we actually have 6 games in total, 4 more games in the crown, and then the 2 NIT semifinals. And then Wednesday, we have more crown action, Thursday, crown action, and the NIT championship game. So we have games all the way up until Thursday, April 3rd. April 4th, we will have no college basketball, but make sure to stay tuned for the channel. We still have at least another week of college basketball, hoops, and best bets here on the channel. Also, go make sure to check out our daily MLB best bets. That's going to be running for the next 4 months here on the channel. 5 months. So make sure to join us every day, 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern time for our daily MLB best bets. And our NBA predictions are still running daily throughout the NBA season. Okay, let's go to our first of 2 games. Oh, and UFC Mexico's tonight too. Forgot about that. Brandon Moreno and Steve Versick tonight from Mexico. Make sure to go check that video out. Greedo plays MMA. Okay, first off, we go to Florida versus Texas Tech. Give me Florida. I just don't think Texas Tech will be able to hang. Guys, that was a great come from behind victory over Arkansas. I'm not going to deny that. That was great. That was all-time stuff. And yes, an all-time choke job out of Arkansas. I'm not going to lie. How are you up 12 points with, 8 minutes to go and you lose that game? I don't know. But good on Texas Tech, right? They came from behind and won. We hit, obviously, with the spread. We hit plus 5.5 for Arkansas. Now, the Razorbacks didn't win the game outright, but we, measured our units appropriately and we took the spread. So, okay with that. I don't think they're going to be able to hang with Florida. Guys, Florida really impressed me in the Maryland victory. And it's not like Florida hasn't been impressive all year long. I'd argue they're still the best team in the tournament. I understand Duke is great. I think Florida's better right now. We'll see. That's a matchup we're probably going to get. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. And Auburn, sure, they're technically the number 1 team in the entire tournament, rankings-wise. I don't know. Auburn, I just saw it go life and death in their last game. I don't know. We'll see. I think Auburn's good, but I don't know. We'll see about the Tigers coming up. We'll see that tomorrow. Anyways, Florida, man, I know the UConn game was competitive, but I really rate that Maryland game highly, and that was just a tremendous victory for the Florida Gators. I cannot tell you enough how good Maryland is, and Florida just outscored them, 87-71. Walter Clayton didn't even have a great game, put up 13 points, but it was Elijah Martin who put up 14. Will Richard put up 15. Thomas Haw off the bench had 13 points. Denzel Aberdeen had 12 off the bench. They're a really good all-around team. And Maryland's Crab 5, their 6-man rotation, just really wasn't able to hold up with the firepower that Florida puts out. Texas Tech, right, coming off of the Arkansas victory, overtime win, 85-83 in favor of the Red Raiders. That's great, right? JT Toppin scored 20, Darian Williams scored 20, Chase Anderson scored 22. I just have a feeling, though, Texas Tech primarily plays 6-ish guys, sometimes 7. I just don't think they're going to be able to go the lengths I don't think they're going to be able to go to that length tonight against Florida. I just don't think so. Because Florida is an all-around deep team. I mean, again, 7, 8-ish man rotation, but they're just all around better than Texas Tech, I think. I really think so. And also, something else to note, guys, if Texas Tech if they fall behind Florida like they did against Arkansas, which I don't want to compare Florida and Arkansas, but guys, Arkansas was a lower half SEC school. Obviously, right, Calipari's guys weren't playing like a lower half SEC team in this tournament, right? Beating St. John's, getting to the, Sweet 16 to take on Texas Tech and San Francisco. I understand that. They weren't playing like a lower level SEC team, but guys, Florida is just a lot better than Arkansas. We know that for a fact, right? Arkansas, great fight at the end of the year. Ultimately, that's a 22-14 team. Florida's 33-4. I know we really don't want to, look into, how they played. Well, I mean, Florida went to Fayetteville and beat them by almost, I think it was double digits. It was beaten by 8 this year. Florida's really good, guys. They're really good. They have not lost since that game in Athens, a month and a half ago at this point. I had Maryland to get them. Unfortunately, we were wrong. It was a competitive first half, but the Gators just pulled away in the second half, right? Derek Queen, Jacoby Gillespie, Rodney Rice weren't able to stay in the basketball game. It is what it is. Still a great year for the Terrapins getting to the Sweet 16. It is what it is. Florida's just on a different level, guys. They just are. And my point earlier, if Texas Tech falls behind like they did against Arkansas, against Florida, they're not coming back. Florida's not going to let them back in this game. They're not going to, get complacent. They're not going to give up easy hoops, and they're going to stay aggressive. And I think another scary fact is I don't think Walter Clayton has back-to-back, just mediocre games. Clayton goes 3 for 9 from the field in their last game against Maryland, 2 for 6 from the three-point line. I doubt he does that again. Walter Clayton has been one of the best players in this entire tournament, and I think he punches Florida's ticket to the Final Four with a great performance tonight. As a whole, man, Clayton, Richard, and Martin are 3 really good basketball players. They just are. And none of them hit over 15 in that last game against Maryland. Sure, it's an all-around team effort, right? Martin with 14, Clayton with 13, Richard with 15, and Hall with 13, and Aberdeen with 12. I understand that. I just think Clayton's going to erupt in this game. I think he's going to hit some big shots early, kind of like what he did in the Norfolk game. And I just don't think Texas Tech's going to be able to catch up once they do fall behind by a lot. You're able to do that against Arkansas. You're not able to do it against Florida. I like, again, what Christian Anderson did last game. Darian Williams had a bad night shooting. JT Toppin, you know what you're going to get at him. The production, right? Toppin, 37 minutes, 20 points. I understand that. I just don't think it's going to be able to work against Florida, an all-around better basketball team and a team that's not going to let you back in the game. Florida's going to get up early, and I just think they're going to have the lead for most of this basketball game. And I think the second half is going to just kind of be Florida pulling away from the Red Raiders. Give me the Florida Gators to beat Texas Tech and cover the 6.5 points as well. We're going Florida. Let's move on to our second best bet of the video and our last game, obviously, of the day. The biggest one of the day, I would say, Alabama versus Duke. Cooper Flagg versus Mark Sears. Cooper Flagg, obviously the best player in college basketball, and it's really not close. Shout out Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey. VJ Edgecombe, I guess, potential-wise is going to be really good, but it's, no doubt about it, Cooper Flagg's the best player in the tournament. And just the offense, just the output Duke had in the Arizona game, 100 points, but the way they were shooting the ball that night, Cooper Flagg goes 9 for 19 from the field. Duke as a whole shoots 58% from the three-point line. They're just able to get whatever they want. They just are. They're able to get whatever they want. And Alabama, don't get me wrong, had an all-time shooting night in their last game against the BYU Cougars. I understand. 113 points. Alabama goes 25 for 51 from the three-point line. Mark Sears goes 10 for 16. Chris Youngblood goes 5 for 11 from the three-point line, right? Sears with 34. Youngblood with 19. Aiden Holloway as well, 23 points, 6 for 13 from the three-point line, right? All these guys had tremendous shooting nights. Duke's not going to not guard the perimeter like BYU was. Duke's a better defensive team than BYU is, and they're not going to give up so many points in transition like BYU will as well. Duke's an all-around much better team than the BYU Cougars. I understand, right? Alabama, high-scoring squad. At their best, that's what they will do to you. We've seen that this season, obviously. But against other really good scoring teams, Alabama, sure, they're going to give you 90 points, potentially. Hell, you look at the Auburn game they played at Tuscaloosa. At the same time, they're going to give up 100 at the same time, right? BYU scored 88, right? And BYU didn't have the offensive firepower that Alabama had, obviously, in that game in New Jersey. But Duke does. Duke has the offensive firepower to not just match Alabama, but outmatch them, let's just be honest. And at the same time, the Blue Devils play better defense. Malich is good. The center for Duke, right? Played 34 minutes in the Arizona game, 13 points. The freshman out of South Sudan, he's solid. He's going to be a very good pro, if not next year, the year after. I think Malich is going out this year. He should. Last I remember, he was a top 15 pick projected to be. He's a good player. Tyrese Proctor didn't have his best game against Arizona, but we know how good he can be at times too. And, right, Cooper Flagg, best player in college basketball, 30 points in the Arizona game, averaged 19 all season. The undoubtedly number one pick in the NBA draft this upcoming season. We'll see who that's going to be. I have a feeling the NBA is going to put him on the Spurs, but we'll see. Yeah, heard LeBron talking about rigging the draft lottery. I'm just saying, if there's a chance Flagg ends up with Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox. Regardless, Duke's not BYU. They're just not. You saw BYU still score 90 against Bama. At the same time, yes, the Crimson Tide put up 113 points. Duke's going to put up 110 on this team, I think. Alabama, yeah, they have a great offense. They don't really play the best defense either. BYU had a hot tournament. They were not hot in the Alabama game, though. They were uncharacteristically bad from the three-point line in the Bama game. 6 for 30 from beyond the arc, 20% shooting. Duke's not going to do that. Duke's going to they're going to attack the rim. At the same time, they're going to have a better shooting night than what BYU did. Again, Duke in the last game, they don't take as many threes as BYU does, but 11 for 19. Yeah, a lot more efficient than BYU's 20%. And it's just tough to guard Cooper Flagg. It just is. Good luck, Alabama. And I don't think they're going to be able to get off as many quality looks like they did against BYU against Duke. It's just a whole other game. Duke is by far the way better defensive team compared to BYU, and they're better defensively than Alabama. No one's put up close to 100 on Duke all year long, except for Arizona, which I get it. Arizona's good. It was a way more competitive game that they played in this tournament compared to Baylor and Mount St. Mary's, right? The Wildcats, I appreciate the fight out those guys, right? They looked like they were down big early. They tried to make a comeback at the very end. That's great. They came back and covered the spread. I really appreciated Arizona. But I just don't think Alabama's going to really have a game in this one. I think they're good. I think Mark Sears is great. I think Chris Youngblood had a really good night. Grant Nelson at his best can hoop. Didn't really have a good game against BYU. Aiden Holloway's really good as well. Philin can hoop. They're just not going to get as many quality looks this time around. Duke is the all-around better basketball team, and they're better defensively than BYU is. Give me the Duke Blue Devils, to advance to the Final Four. I know it's, this tournament's been a little bit anticlimactic. We are picking 2 number 1 seeds to go to the Final Four, and I hate to say it, we might get 2 more tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about those 2 games. I'll give you guys predictions for those coming up. But again, for now, we've got the Duke Blue Devils advancing to the Final Four to take on the winner of Houston and Tennessee. And we have the Florida Gators advancing to take on the winner of Auburn and Michigan in the Final Four. So we will see you tomorrow for more daily college basketball best bets, folks. If you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.